مرحبا بكم أعزائي المشاهدين. في المؤتمر الصحفي الذي عقده الرئيس الامريكي دونالد ترامب في البيت الابيض قبل ساعات، أكد الرئيس ترامب أنه لا يريد وضع جدول زمني محدد للعمليات العسكرية الامريكية في إيران، قائلا لا تستعجلوني، وأشار إلى أن العمليات مستمرة منذ نحو 5 أسابيع ونصف، مؤكدا أنه تم تدمير القدرات العسكرية الإيرانية التقليدية بشكل كبير: البحرية، القوات الجوية والدفاعات الجوية. وحول مدى نجاح العمليات العسكرية وفقا للمخطط وتقديراته المسبقة، أكد ترامب أنه كان محقا في تقديره، لأنه خلال هذه المدة تم سحق الجيش الإيراني وتدمير نحو 75% إلى 78% من الأهداف العسكرية المحددة، بما في ذلك منشآت تصنيع الصواريخ والطائرات المسيرة. وردا على سؤال حول الهدف النهائي من الحرب في إيران، أوضح ترامب أن الهدف الأساسي والوحيد هو منع إيران من امتلاك سلاح نووي بشكل دائم، وقال لا يمكن السماح لإيران بامتلاك القنبلة النووية، مشيرا إلى أن الاتفاقيات السابقة كانت تمنحهم طريقة للوصول إليها. وحول سؤال لماذا لا يتم إنهاء الأمر الآن والتوصل لاتفاق، ذكر ترامب أن القيادة الإيرانية في حالة فوضى وتخبط بعد مقتل قادتهم، أشار إلى خامنئي وخلفائه الآخرين، وأيضا أشار إلى سليماني، وأنهم لا يعرفون حاليا مع من يتفاوضون. وأضاف أنه يفضل التريث للحصول على اتفاق عظيم ودائم بدلا من اتفاق مستعجل. وفيما يتعلق بانعكاسات الصراع على أسعار الوقود، أجاب ترامب بأن الشعب الأمريكي قد يضطر لدفع مبالغ إضافية لفترة بسيطة، لكن المقابل هو أمن العالم وحماية المدن من التهديد النووي الإيراني. وأكد أن أمريكا تنتج حاليا كميات قياسية من النفط والغاز لتعويض أي نقص. وردا على سؤال هل ستستخدم الولايات المتحدة الأسلحة النووية ضد إيران، رفض الرئيس ترامب هذا السؤال ووصفه بالغبي، قائلا أنه لا يحتاج لاستخدام الأسلحة النووية، لأن القوات الأمريكية استطاعت تدمير القدرات الإيرانية بالأسلحة التقليدية فقط، وأنه لا ينبغي لأحد استخدام السلاح النووي. فيما أجاب على سؤال حول وضع الاقتصاد الإيراني حاليا، مشيرا إلى أن الحصار البحري فعال بنسبة 100%، مما أدى لتوقف التجارة الإيرانية ووضع النظام تحت ضغط اقتصادي هائل، خصوصا مع عدم قدرته على تصدير النفط وتخزينه. للمزيد من التفاصيل تابعوا الفيديو، شاركونا تعليقاتكم وشكرا.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. Could you talk a little bit about why your Navy Secretary was fired yesterday, sir?
He's a wonderful guy. He just put out a statement about him. He's a very good man. I really liked him, but he had some conflict with, not necessarily Pete, with some other. He's a hard charger, and he had some conflicts with some other people, mostly as to building and buying new ships. I'm very aggressive in the new shipbuilding, and somehow he just didn't get along with him. He's an excellent guy. I think he would have gotten along great with me. I didn't really deal with him too much, but he's I consider him to have done a very good job. I put out a nice statement about him. You got to get along, especially in the military. You got to get along, and some people liked him, some people didn't, and that's usually the truth about everything. But I found him to be a very good man, and I liked him a lot.
How long are you willing to wait until you get a
Well, don't rush
response?
me. Don't rush me, Jeff. Guys like you want to say, so we're in Vietnam like for 18 years. We're in Iraq for many, many years. We're in for I don't like to say World War II because that was a biggie, but we were 4.5, almost 5 years in World War II. We were in the Korean War for 7 years. I've been doing this for 6 weeks. And their military is totally defeated. They're outside of the little wise guy ships. I call them the wise guy ships, the little boats that they have running around with guns in them. And we'll take them out too when we see them. But their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, all of their anti-aircraft machinery is gone. Maybe they loaded up a little bit during the 2-week hiatus, but we'll knock that out in about 1 day if they did. We've done an amazing job. Their leaders are gone. The leaders are all gone. Part of the problem is that, that's why I can't really answer your question. They have all new leadership and they're fighting like cats and dogs for who's going to control because we've created a real mess for them, but they've created a mess for the world over the last 47 years. They've killed a lot of our people. When you see a soldier, a young person, or now an older person, but a person without legs or without arms or with a face that got blown to pieces, most likely it was from Iran. It was Soleimani who I killed. Soleimani loved the roadside bomb. He was an evil genius. He was a brilliant general. Probably we wouldn't be as far advanced had I not taken him out. That was the beginning of it all. And then I ended the Obama horror show. The nuclear transaction that he made was horror. Gave him a road to you call it, I mean, what the deal that he did, the Iran nuclear deal, was so bad. It gave him a road to a nuclear weapon. And I will tell you, I deal with him. You cannot give Iran a nuclear weapon. This is all about a nuclear weapon. They cannot have the nuclear bomb, and they're not going to have the nuclear bomb. So we've taken out their military. We've hit about 75% of our targets. We stopped a little early because they wanted to have some peace. And we have a blockade that's 100% effective. And they're getting no business. And as you know, they're not doing well economically, financially. They're not doing any business because of the blockade. They want to make a deal. We have been speaking to them, but they don't even know who's leading the country. They're in turmoil. They're in turmoil. So we thought we'd give them a little chance to get some of their turmoil resolved. But, you know, and I hope the fake news, people like you, I hope the fake news are going to be able to write about it accurately, because when you say, oh, they're fighting very well, they're not fighting well. They've been obliterated, Jeff, obliterated. 159 ships are in the Navy. You know how many ships are at the bottom of the sea, Jeff? 159. So, you know, and if you read the New York Times, the failing New York Times, subscriptions are way down, as you know. That's because people don't believe this stuff anymore. If you watch CNN, you'd think that they're doing well in the war. They're not doing well. They're getting absolutely decimated. Now, with all of that being said, we'll see what happens. They have a lot of, we have no pressure. It's only guys like you with a question like that about what's your time. We've been doing it for 5.5 weeks.
But sir, it's your administration. 8 weeks that the U.S. now has been involved with Iran. You had initially said it would be 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, I hope that, but I also took a little break. I gave them a break. And remember this, I want to make the best deal. I could make a deal right now. Do you know that if I left right now, we had a tremendous success. It would take them 20 years to rebuild, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it everlasting. I want to have it where they never have a chance to get it. I mean, the way you asked that question, yeah, I did say it. I thought it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and I was right. Because at the end of 6 weeks, at the end of 4 weeks, their military was decimated.
So are you saying?
But now what I'm doing, I can't tell you that. I don't want to put that kind of a timetable on it, but it'll go pretty quickly. And we'll have the strait opened up. Now, right now, we have it closed. We have total control of the strait. And the fact that it's closed, you know, they would have opened it up 3 days ago. They came to us and they said, we will agree to open the strait. And all my people were happy. Everybody was happy except me. I said, wait a minute, if we open the strait, that means they're going to make $500 million a day. I don't want them to make $500 million a day until they settle this thing. So I'm the one that kept it closed. We have total control of it. And it'll open when they make a deal or something else happens that's very positive.
Well, what do you say to the American people who question how much longer this will take? Obviously, you know that they are having.
You're such a disgrace. Did you hear what I just said? Vietnam. How many years was Vietnam?
I understand, sir.
How many years was Vietnam? Well, I did my. I took the country out militarily in the first 4 weeks. I took it out militarily. Now all we're doing is sitting back and seeing what deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, then I'll finish it up militarily with the other 25% of the targets. We've hit 78% of the targets that we've wanted to hit. We've knocked out their manufacturing. We've knocked out their missile production. We've knocked out their drone production. We've knocked out everything. In some cases, when I say knocked it out, 70, 80, 90%. It's amazing what we've done. So I've done that within that period of time that I mentioned, but I don't want to rush myself, you know, because every story says, oh, Trump is under time pressure. I'm not, no. You know who's under time pressure? They are. Because if they don't get their oil moving, their whole oil infrastructure is going to explode. You know what that means? Because they have no place to store it. And because they have no place to store it, if they have to stop it, something happens that only Len can explain. Something happens underground that essentially renders it in very poor shape, and you never recover fully. You can recover 50, 60%, but you can never have it like it is right now. And they have a matter of days before that event takes place. So I'm not under any pressure whatsoever. We've never had so much ammunition. Our ships are loaded. I call them locked and loaded. They're locked and loaded. They're ready to go. We have much higher quality equipment than we did when we first started the war, and or the military operation, whatever you want to call it. And they're coming to us. The problem they have is they are very disorganized right now. Well, now yesterday, and I was very pleased with this, 8 young women were going to be executed yesterday afternoon at 6 o'clock. And I asked them, call it a favor or call it just a moral request that they not be executed. And they came back with an answer that they won't be executed. They're going to release, it was protesting. 8 beautiful young women. Very young women, and their pictures are in the paper, and it's been a story for a little while, and I saw that, and I said, let's see if we can save them, and it was very nice what happened. So they're not going to be, what they're doing is, as you know, they're releasing 4 of them very shortly, and they're going to keep 4 of them in jail for a period of 1 month and release them, so they won't be executed yet.
So if you're asking for more time to sort out negotiations,
I'm not asking you for more time. I'm not asking for them. No,
but if you need more time,
I'm not asking anybody for more time.
if you need more time, does that mean Americans should anticipate spending more on gasoline for the foreseeable future?
For a little while. And you know what they get
how
for
long?
that? You know what they get for that? Iran without a nuclear weapon that's going to try and blow up one of our cities or blow up the entire Middle East. You want to see what shock would be? And I have to be honest, the stock market is at an all-time high right now. I thought it would have been down 20, 25%.
But you wanted to drive prices down.
Wait, can I finish my question? Wise guy. Stock market's at an all-time high right now. I projected, and I'm pretty good at this, that the stock market, Howard, would drop maybe 20%, 25%, and I understood that, and I said, hey, it's a bad thing, but I have to do what's right for the country, even the world, because you can't have them, you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. So the stock market, unlike what a lot of people were predicting, I thought they weren't necessarily wrong. The stock market today hit an all-time high. Hit an all-time high yesterday, the day before, and it's staying there. I thought oil would go up to maybe $200 a barrel, and oil is at a different number than anyone thought. In fact, this country is much lower because we have all the oil we can use. We're actually, ships are coming from all over the world to Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska. They're coming from all over the world to get oil from the United States, while this is closed, the Hormuz Strait. So if you look at what I said, I guess it was right, because I said I'd have it 4 to 6 weeks, and in 4 weeks we have totally defeated their military.
But you began
so right now, I don't want to rush it because you guys are, trying to make us look as bad as possible. I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time. We have plenty of time, and I want to get a great deal. I want to get a deal where our nation and the world is safe from lunatics with nuclear weapons. Yes.
If it does go to 200, are you okay with that, sir? If oil goes to 200?
I think that there's nothing worse than a nuclear weapon that takes out one of your cities or 2 of your cities or 3. I think there's nothing worse than a nuclear weapon that's going to destroy the Middle East, including Israel. I think there's nothing worse than Europe being under attack by people that have missiles now that reach Europe. As you know, they don't reach us, but they reach Europe. But they will reach us at some time, probably the not too distant future, unless we stop them now. I think there would be nothing worse than having nuclear holocaust in Europe, London, Paris, various places in Germany, all targeted. No, what I say is you can't let them have. I don't think it will happen, by the way. I really think we actually, it turns out that we are drill baby drill, and it turns out we're producing a lot of oil, and they're buying the oil. They're going to Alaska, they're going to Texas, Louisiana. And our guys have done a fantastic job. We're putting out right now more oil and gas than we ever have in the history of our country. And one other thing, there are more people employed today in the United States than ever in the history of our country.
Mr. President, I have a question, sir. Is it true that your administration is considering sending 1,100 Afghans to the Democratic Republic of Congo? And if so, do you have a response to that?
I don't know. I have to check that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Please,
Thank you, Mr. President. Breitbart News' Matt Boyle just published an interview with Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis, in which the Prime Minister said that he's rooting for you to succeed in getting a deal with Iran. He also said he looks forward to hosting you in Greece later this year. Do you have any response?
Nice. No, it's really nice. I mean, Greece has been very supportive, actually. Greece has been terrific. He's a terrific guy because he understands the importance of it. You know, oil goes up a little bit. I hate it. You know, I was the one that had it down to $60 a barrel. And I looked at guys like Howard Lutnick. Howard, you remember it well. I said, well, we just hit an all-time high in the history of the market. Think of this. When we hit 50,000, I was told, everybody was told, when I won the election, November 5th, they said, well, during the 4-year period, it'll be impossible for the Dow to ever reach 50,000. It'll be impossible for the S&P to ever hit 7,000. Impossible. And you remember that, Howard, right? It was going to hit maybe 6, 7 years, 8 years, but I did it in my first year, hit 50,000. Now it's just about at 50,000, and S&P is higher than it was when we started. And S&P hit over 7,000, and that was before the year ended up 1 year. So I can only tell you this: it'll end. I don't think it'll be very long, by the way. They're delaying it because we don't know who to deal with. They are in. You know, they know who the leader is in this country. We don't know who the leader is in Iran. Because remember, regime change. Khomeini is gone. He's gone to greener pastures. He's gone, and all of his team is gone. Then a second group came in. They're all gone. And now you have the third group. And they're a little concerned about being gone, too.
Sir, would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social a few weeks ago.
We don't need it. Why do I need it? Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it? No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
So I understand that Iran is given a timeline of when they can give you a
we're
proposal.
all very much looking forward to. Prince Harry today has said that he would like to see you do more to end the war in Ukraine. Do you think it's appropriate for a royal to make those comments ahead of the visit on Monday?
Prince Harry?
Yes, sir.
How's he doing?
Well, he's in
How's his
Ukraine.
wife? Please give her my regards, okay? No, I don't know. I know one thing. Prince Harry is not speaking for the UK. That's for sure. I think I'm speaking for the UK more than Prince Harry. But I appreciate his advice very much.
Would you have
Great
invited
advice.
him to the dinner and to the state visit?
Well, I look forward to the dinner. We're having King Charles come. He's a friend of mine. We're really looking forward to it. We've spoken, and we're going to have a great time. I tell you, if I had that ballroom built, it would be filled. I wish we had more seats. You know, they've wanted a new ballroom for 150 years. Now they're getting the best in the world. We're going to have the best in the world. But, you know, we have a room that's not big enough to handle what would be a big crowd. But we're going to have very great people that love the UK. I love the UK. I think they made a big mistake on energy. You should open up the North Sea in Aberdeen. You should open it up. And the other thing is they've made a big mistake on immigration. Okay.
Sir,
Please,
what do you hope to learn from Janine Pirrod's investigation into the Fed's renovation that you
Say it
did not?
again.
What do you hope to learn from the Janine Pirrod's investigation into the Federal Reservation that you did not learn when you visited the site yourself last year?
Well, look, you know, the Federal Reserve building is a small building. They're going to be in there by the time it opens, in my opinion, for $4 billion. I built a hotel down the road for $201 million that I believe is bigger than the Federal Reserve building. $201 million. And the ballroom, I'm going to have the ballroom from $300 to $400 million, depending on finishes, like marbles to quality and the quality finishes. We'll go top of the line. But that's a much bigger project. When you look at the fact that they've taken this beautiful building and destroyed it, they've taken down the beautiful ceilings with eagles, they've taken down the walls that are a foot and a half thick, masonry. You couldn't hear from office to office. They ripped it all down. They ripped down Because Kevin Warsh, who's terrific, said, gee, the saddest thing is they ripped down the nicest building in Washington for boardrooms and all. Did you know about that building? They ripped it down. It was beautiful. The boardroom building, it was beautiful, and they ripped it down. And probably because it cost so much to fix it. So I would have done that job for $25 million had money left over. It's going to cost more than, in my opinion, it's not going to open for a long time. You know, Kevin may not be able to have an office. I'm going to have to get him an office. Can you give him an office?
Yes, space.
Bobby, do you have some space over there, please?
Yeah, we have a lot of space.
But yes, more than you think. But we're going to have Kevin sitting right next to you, Bobby. But it may not open for a long time. I looked at it the other day. It's a see-through. See-through, you know, that means the walls aren't even up yet. This is after years and years of construction. And somehow you have to find out what went wrong. That a small building, I could have done it for $25 million that had money left over. It would have been beautiful. That a small building can cost $4 billion. It may never open. It may never open. And we have to get to that. On top of that, he's been terrible on interest rates because he should have lowered interest rates. That's why I call him Jerome Too Late. Too Late is his nickname. Jerome Too Late Powell. He likes me a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Press. 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 Keep moving. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Press. Keep moving. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Press. Keep moving.
It came from
Thank you,
Italy.
guys.
From Italy,
Keep
so it's
moving.
Italian granite.
Well, it came from Italy. It was carved in Italy. It came from another location. You know where the location is? Africa.
You have African and Italian granite outside the Oval
Keep going, guys. Keep moving. Thank you.
I'm just asking.
Thank you, guys. Keep
Thank you,
moving.
everyone.
Thank you. Keep going.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, guys.